Hello! Now I would like to introduce the steps we are going to take in this course to achieve our goal of a production-ready data pipeline with Python Pandas. At first, I will explain why it is important and best practice to use virtual environments for a Python project. And we are going to set up a virtual environment where we will work whenever we develop something. Afterwards, we will set up a user with your AWS account to get programmatic access using credentials. Then we will use Jupyter Notebook to access the Xetra source data and get a feeling of the data. Jupyter Notebook will be used as well to create a first script-like quick and dirty solution of our data pipeline. This will give us a good understanding of how to solve the task and what steps are needed. Having the code in mind, we will discuss two common approaches to structure the code: functional and object-oriented programming. And I will explain why testing is important and introduce the different ways of testing. After this, we are going to restructure our quick and dirty solution using the functional approach. And then we will discuss object-oriented design principles and all the missing requirements we did not care with the quick and dirty solution, such as configuration, logging, and metadata. Once at this point, we know everything to do a proper object-oriented code design. Why a code design is important, you will also get an idea during the course. Having our code designed, we can finish setting up our development environment, creating a GitHub repo, and clone it to our local machine, create a Python project and a good folder structure, and setting up an IDE where we can code. I will use Visual Studio Code in this course, but basically it can be used any IDE you are comfortable with. Then it will be time to implement a basic frame of the classes we want to create according to our code design. Since we have a design, the coding part itself should be quite straightforward. Once the classes are there, we can add logging functionality according to Python's best practice. Before we code functionality, we will discuss what is clean code in Python, and then for each piece of our code, we are going to implement the functionality itself, execute linting in order to clean our code, create and execute unit and integration tests with a high test coverage. Once the coding part is done, we care about how to best manage dependencies using pipenv. I will also show how to tune performance using profiling and timing. The last step before our code can be used in production is to create a Docker file. Using the Docker file and create a Docker image and push this image to Docker Hub, from where any orchestration tool can use this image to run our data pipeline. And finally, I am going to show you how our data pipeline can be executed simulating a production environment using Minikube, that is a local Kubernetes cluster, and Argo Workflows, the container native workflow engine for orchestrating parallel jobs on Kubernetes.